Get your dirty hands off that seat. Brittany Vance's voice cut like a blade. She yanked Arthur Coleman backward by his collar. I'm sorry, ma'am. This is my seat. Your seat? She laughed in his face. Look at you. Smell you. This is business class for real people, not trash. I paid for this ticket, ma'am. Liar. She snatched his wallet, threw it down the aisle. Probably stole it like everything else your kind steals. Arthur bent to retrieve it. His hands shook. She grabbed his face. Her palm exploded across his mouth. Blood sprayed. His glasses shattered on the floor. Arthur stood there silent. His cheek burned red. He was 72 years old, a retired postal worker. 3 rows ahead, a man in a Tom Ford suit stood abruptly, his jaw clenched tight. What happened next on Flight 802 would destroy more than one career. Arthur Coleman didn't fight back. He simply stood there, blood dripping from his split lip, his hand pressed against the red marks on his cheek where her nails had dug in. He was a retired postal worker, 72 years old. He'd worn his best navy blazer today, the one Elizabeth had bought him for their 40th anniversary 5 years ago, before cancer took her. In his shirt pocket, folded carefully, was a photo. Elizabeth smiling at their kitchen table, her reading glasses perched on her nose. That was 2 months before the diagnosis. Arthur had saved $130 every month for half a year. No restaurants, no cable TV. He ate oatmeal for breakfast and sandwiches for dinner. All so he could fly business class once, just once, to see what it felt like. His granddaughter Zoe was graduating from Northwestern, top of her class, pre-med. She was the first in their family to finish college. Arthur wanted to arrive feeling dignified, wanted to walk into that ceremony with his head high. Now his shirt was splattered with blood. Brittany Vance watched him with satisfaction. She smoothed her blonde hair back into place, adjusted her name tag. 8 years she'd worked for Liberty Sky Airlines. 8 years of dealing with passengers who thought they were special. She knew the rules. She made the rules in her cabin. Behind her, route manager Mitch Kowalski approached. He was 41, thick neck, arms crossed. He'd gotten Brittany out of trouble before. 17 complaints in the last 2 years, all mysteriously closed. Everything okay here, Britt? His voice was casual, like this was routine. The passenger became aggressive when I asked for identification, Brittany said smoothly. He grabbed my wrist. I defended myself. A lie. But Mitch nodded. He always did. 3 rows ahead in first class, Damon Coleman sat perfectly still. He wore a charcoal Tom Ford suit, custom-tailored, a Patek Philippe Nautilus on his wrist, 45 years old, clean-shaven. His Wall Street Journal lay folded on the tray table. He'd watched everything. When Arthur boarded, Damon had glanced up. Their eyes met for half a second. Damon looked away immediately, deliberately. He turned back to his newspaper. Other passengers might have wondered why a son wouldn't greet his father. Why would he let an old man struggle with his bag alone? Damon had his reasons. He pulled out his phone, typed quickly under the tray table where no one could see. Activate protocol. Flight 802. Document everything. He pressed send. Then he opened his recording app, set the phone on his armrest, camera facing backward. Hannah Kim stood in the galley. She was 32, a junior flight attendant, Korean American. She'd worked with Brittany for 3 years, 3 long years. She'd seen this before. Different faces, same pattern. Last month, an Indian passenger questioned about his unusual food, made to throw it away. 2 months ago, a Hispanic woman accused of stealing a blanket, the blanket Brittany had handed her. 6 months ago, a black teenager removed for looking suspicious. He'd been reading a physics textbook. Hannah kept a folder on her personal laptop. Brittany Vance, incidents, 23 documented cases, photos, witness statements, timestamps, every complaint filed, every complaint closed by Mitch Kowalski, his signature on every dismissal form. She wanted to speak up now, her mouth opened. Brittany shot her a look. Sharp warning, Hannah's mouth closed. She turned back to the beverage cart. Her hands trembled. Not yet. She needed someone who couldn't be silenced, someone with power. Liberty Skyflight 802 was a Tuesday afternoon departure, Atlanta to Chicago. 2 hours and 15 minutes, Boeing 737, 16 business class seats, cream leather, mood lighting, professional crew of 4. The airport was chaotic. Post-pandemic travel had exploded. Every flight was packed. The staff stretched thin. Complaints up 34% industry-wide. Airlines were hiring anyone with a pulse. Training was cut from 6 weeks to 3. Customer service scores plummeted. But Liberty Sky had bigger problems. 6 months ago, they settled a discrimination lawsuit. $2.3 million. 3 black passengers removed from a flight to Miami. Suspicious behavior. They'd been lawyers attending a conference. The settlement included mandatory diversity training. Brittany had taken the online module, scored 71%. Passing was 70. She'd clicked through without reading. Finished in 18 minutes. Her personnel file showed the completion certificate. Nothing else. Liberty Sky's CEO had sent a company-wide memo. Enhanced security protocols. Corporate speak for watch certain passengers more closely. Brittany had interpreted it her way. In the cockpit, Captain Anderson reviewed the flight plan. 28 years of flying. He was 54, gray at the temples, 2 daughters in college. He'd heard the commotion in the cabin, heard Brittany's raised voice, but cockpit doors stayed locked now, post 9/11 protocol. He checked the passenger manifest on his tablet, scrolled through names. His finger stopped. Seat 1A, Damon Coleman. Captain Anderson's stomach dropped. He zoomed in, read the name 3 times. Damon Coleman, CEO of Coleman Global Enterprises, the company that had acquired 67% of Liberty Sky Airlines 6 months ago. The buyout had been quiet, not yet public, but internal leadership knew. Anderson had attended a briefing. Damon Coleman's photo projected on the conference room screen. Our new majority shareholder. Treat him with utmost respect. Anderson touched his intercom. Mitch, this is the captain. Can you come to the cockpit? In business class, Mitch Kowalski was already calling airport security. His radio crackled. Need passenger removal. Seat 4C, aggressive behavior, assaulted crew member. The captain's voice interrupted. Mitch, before you do anything, I need... Mitch cut him off. Handled it, Captain. Just doing my job. He clicked off. 2 airport security officers arrived within minutes. Officer Martinez and Officer Lewis, both in their 30s. Body cameras recording. Brittany met them at the door. Her eyes were red. Tears performed perfectly. He grabbed me when I asked to verify his ticket, she said. Her voice shook. I had to defend myself. I'm afraid he might become violent again. Officer Martinez looked at Arthur, then at Brittany. The math didn't add up. Arthur was small, frail, 72 years old, but Martinez had learned not to question the flight crew. They had authority here. FAA regulations. Sir, Martinez said to Arthur, his tone apologetic. I need you to gather your belongings and come with us. Arthur's eyes glistened. He didn't cry. He'd learned long ago that tears changed nothing. Officers, she struck me first, he said quietly. Multiple witnesses saw it. A passenger in 5B spoke up. That's true. I recorded it. Brittany whirled around. Recording crew is a federal offense. Delete that now. The passenger's thumb hovered over his phone. He looked scared. Mitch stepped forward. FAA regulations, folks. All phones down now. The passenger lowered his phone, but he didn't delete anything. Damon Coleman sat motionless in 1A. Every muscle in his body was tight. His father was being humiliated, removed like a criminal. Not yet, he told himself. Let the system show its true face. Let them expose themselves completely. His phone buzzed, a reply to his text. Protocol activated. Legal team standing by. PR monitoring social media. We're ready when you are. Damon typed back one word. Wait. Arthur reached down for his briefcase. It lay under the seats where Brittany had kicked it. He got on his knees, his joints cracked. 72 years of wear. Brittany stood over him, arms crossed. Look at him on his knees where he belongs. Passengers shifted. Some looked away, others stared. Arthur found his briefcase, pulled it out. The leather was scuffed, worn. Inside was everything that mattered. His wife's Bible, his granddaughter's graduation gift, a gold necklace, $300 in cash. He stood slowly. His knees shook. Officer Martinez touched his arm, gentle. Sir, please come with us. Can I get my boarding pass? Arthur asked. It has my confirmation number. Brittany held up the torn pieces, let them flutter down. Oops. A woman in 3A gasped. That's cruel. Brittany spun toward her. Want to join him? I can arrange that. The woman went silent. Mitch Kowalski pulled out his tablet, started typing. Ground crew, prepare banned passenger documentation. Seat 4C. Add him to the no-fly list. Arthur's head snapped up. No-fly list for what? Assault on crew, Mitch said. You're banned from Liberty Sky for life. We share information with other airlines, too. Arthur's voice cracked. I've flown for 40 years, never had a problem, not once. You have one now, Brittany said. She smiled. Hannah Kim stepped forward from the galley. Her voice shook. That's not what happened. I saw everything. She hit him first. Brittany's smile vanished. Hannah, go check the rear cabin now. I'm not lying for you anymore. Mitch moved between them, his bulk intimidating. Hannah, unless you want to ride up, follow orders. Hannah looked at Arthur, then at the passengers. No one else spoke. Fear was powerful. She stepped back, but she pulled out her phone. Brittany saw it. Mitch, she's recording. Take that phone. Give it here, Hannah. Mitch said. This is my personal property. On company time in company uniform. Hand it over or you're suspended. Hannah's hand trembled. 3 years of evidence on this phone, but she had backups. Cloud storage. She surrendered it. Mitch powered it off, slipped it in his pocket. You'll get this back later, maybe. Arthur was led down the aisle now, Officer Martinez on one side, Officer Lewis on the other. He walked with his head up, briefcase clutched to his chest. Passengers whispered as he passed. Some said, I'm sorry, under their breath. Others looked ashamed. A few were typing on phones, social media posts starting. A child in 6C asked loudly, Mommy, why are they taking that nice man? Shh, baby, don't look. But the child kept looking. When Arthur reached row 1, he passed Damon. Their eyes met briefly. Damon's face was stone, the slightest shake of his head. Not yet, Dad. Arthur understood. He kept walking. At the door, Captain Anderson emerged from the cockpit. He saw Arthur being escorted off. Saw the blood on his collar. Mitch, what's going on? Handled, Captain. Aggressive passengers removed per protocol. Anderson looked past Mitch, saw Brittany, saw the passengers staring. Then he glanced into first class, saw Damon Coleman. The captain's face went pale. Mr. Coleman, Anderson said. His voice was tight. I didn't realize you were on this flight. Damon held up one finger, said nothing. His eyes were ice. Anderson retreated to the cockpit. His hands shook. Brittany noticed the exchange. Who's that? Nobody, Mitch said. Just another passenger. Arthur Coleman stepped off Flight 802 into the jetway, the door sealed behind him. Inside, Brittany exhaled, smiled. Another problem solved. 8 years. No real consequences ever. Mitch patted her shoulder. Nice work. Grab a coffee. In the galley, Hannah Kim cried quietly. She'd failed Arthur, failed herself. Then her backup phone buzzed in her locker. The one Mitch didn't know about. A text from an unknown number. I saw everything. Keep your evidence safe. Justice is coming. DC. Hannah's breath caught. DC Damon Coleman. She wiped her tears, stood straighter. In first class, Damon opened his laptop, pulled up Liberty Sky's internal server. His credentials gave him access to everything. Brittany Vance's personnel file, 23 complaints, all closed, all signed by Mitch Kowalski. His brother Greg worked in HR, both protecting each other. Damon forwarded everything to his legal team, his PR team, his attorney. Then he typed one message. Prepare a full company audit. Reopen every discrimination complaint. He pressed send. The engines started. Cabin lights dimmed for departure. Brittany walked past first class. Triumphant, she didn't even glance at Damon. She had no idea her career had just ended. 3 passengers had already uploaded videos to Twitter. Boycott Liberty Sky, just flight 802. One caption. Elderly black man assaulted by flight attendant for sitting in business class. 8 minutes online, 12,000 views, comments flooding in. This is 2025. Sue them all. Who is this man? The plane began to push back from the gate. Brittany poured herself coffee, checked her lipstick in the galley mirror. Perfect. The aircraft door was sealed. The jetway had pulled away. Flight 802 was taxiing toward the runway. There was no turning back now. Brittany Vance moved through the cabin with confidence. She checked the overhead bins, smiled at passengers in first class. Professional. Polished. Like nothing had happened. Mitch Kowalski stood near the cockpit, his tablet open. He was typing the incident report. His version, the only version that would matter. Passenger in 4C became verbally aggressive when asked for identification. Made physical contact with senior flight attendant Vance. Passenger removed for safety of crew and other passengers. Recommend permanent ban from all Liberty Sky flights. He attached photos. Brittany's wrist. Red marks self-inflicted 30 seconds ago in the galley. No one had seen her do it. He pressed submit. The report went to Liberty Sky's security division, to HR, to legal. Within the system, it would be processed, filed, and forgotten, just like the 23 before it. In seat 12B, Laura Gibson clutched her phone. She was 28, a journalist for the Atlanta Chronicle. She'd recorded everything, the slap, the blood, Arthur's dignity. Her video was already uploaded, unlisted on YouTube. Link sent to her editor with a text. Breaking story. Elderly man assaulted on Liberty Sky flight. Need legal review before we publish. Her editor replied immediately. Holy shit. Get more footage. Interview witnesses when you land. This is the front page. Laura looked around the cabin. Other passengers were typing furiously. Some were on calls, whispering urgently. The story was spreading, uncontrolled. Viral. She opened Twitter, searched Wunterfark Flight 802. Her stomach dropped. 4 videos already posted, different angles. The slap captured perfectly in all of them. Brittany's face is clear. Her name tag is visible. Her words are audible. This seat is not for your kind. Crawl for it. I don't care about your dead wife. The tweets were exploding. Retweets in the hundreds already. Comments filled with rage. This is horrific. Fire her immediately. I'm never flying Liberty Sky again. Someone find out who that elderly man is. One account had freeze-framed Arthur's face. Posted it with, Does anyone know this man? He deserves justice. Laura's hands shook. This was bigger than a local news story. This was national, maybe international. In first class, Damon Coleman scrolled through the same hashtag. His face remained neutral, but his jaw was tight. His phone buzzed, his head of PR. "Sir, we have a situation. Flight 802 is trending. Multiple videos of an assault. The victim appears to be an elderly black passenger. Liberty Sky crew involved. This is going to explode. Do we have a statement ready?" Damon typed back. "No statement yet. Monitor closely. Prepare a crisis response team. I'll advise you in 30 minutes. Another text came in, his chief legal officer. "Damon, I've reviewed the videos. Clear assault, potential hate crime. If Liberty Sky doesn't act immediately, we're looking at massive liability. Federal investigation likely. Stock will tank." Damon knew all of this. He'd known it the moment Brittany's hand struck his father's face. He typed a response. "Compile everything. Every complaint against this employee. Every similar incident in the past 2 years. I want names, dates, witnesses. Have it ready when we land." His lawyer replied, "Already on it. This is bad, Damon. Really bad." Damon allowed himself a small smile. Yes, it was bad for Brittany, for Mitch, for everyone who'd enabled this system, but it was necessary. Hannah Kim sat at the jump seat near the rear galley. Her backup phone was hidden in her hand. She was texting her sister. "They took my work phone, but I have everything backed up. 3 years of documentation. Brittany has done this 23 times, all to passengers of color. All complaints closed by the same manager. His brother works in HR. They protect each other." Her sister replied, "Hannah, you need to go public now before they bury this too." Hannah's fingers hovered over the keyboard. She'd been scared for so long. Scared of losing her job, her income, her work visa status. But Arthur Coleman's face kept appearing in her mind. The dignity, the quiet strength, even as they dragged him off. She opened her cloud storage, downloaded her entire Brittany Vance incidents folder. 23 cases, photos, audio recordings, witness statements, emails showing complaints filed and mysteriously closed. She attached it all to an email, addressed it to Liberty Sky's board of directors, every single member. Their email addresses weren't public, but Hannah had access to internal directories. Subject line: Pattern of racial discrimination. Flight attendant Brittany Vance, urgent review required. Her finger hovered over send. Not yet. Wait until landing. Wait until she was off company property. They couldn't fire her if she was already home. She saved it as a draft. Brittany appeared in the galley, poured herself more coffee, saw Hannah sitting there. "You okay, Hannah?" Her voice was syrupy. False concern. "I'm fine." "Good. Because I'd hate for you to do something stupid like talking to passengers about what happened or posting on social media. That would be a terminable offense." "I understand." "Do you?" "Because I've gotten people fired before. It's easier than you think." Brittany sipped her coffee. "You're on a work visa, right? From Korea?" Hannah's blood went cold. "Yes." "Shame. If you lost your job, you'd have to leave the country, go back to Seoul. All those student loans, no way to pay them." Brittany smiled. "Just something to think about." She walked away. Hannah's hands clenched into fists. That was a threat. Direct, clear, and probably illegal. She added it to her mental list. In row 8C, Mark Lewis, no relation to the officer, was on a call with his wife. He'd recorded the incident, too. He was a civil rights attorney, worked for the ACLU. "Honey, I'm telling you, this is the clearest case of discrimination I've seen in years. Assault, false accusations, abuse of authority, and at least 10 witnesses." His wife's voice crackled through his earbuds. "Did you get his name? The victim?" "No. They removed him before I could speak to him. But I have a video, clear audio. The flight attendant's name tag is visible. Brittany Vance. Send it to the office. We need to find this man. Offer representation." "Already done. I also sent it to 3 journalists I know. This needs to be everywhere." Another passenger, Kevin Chen, in 7A, was a software engineer. He downloaded all 4 videos from Twitter, ran them through enhancement software on his laptop, cleaned up the audio, sharpened the image quality, isolated Brittany's face for facial recognition. He uploaded the enhanced versions, tagged major news outlets, CNN, MSNBC, The New York Times, The Washington Post. Elderly black man assaulted on Liberty Sky Flight 802, crew member Brittany Vance, multiple witnesses, video evidence attached. This is unacceptable in 2025. His tweet got picked up immediately. Verified accounts started retweeting. A CNN producer responded, "Can we use this footage? Do you have contact info?" Kevin replied, "Yes, footage is public. I'm a passenger on the flight. Happy to provide a statement upon landing." The momentum was building, unstoppable. Now in the cockpit, Captain Anderson saw the alerts coming through on his tablet. Company notifications, emergency messages from Liberty Sky headquarters. Flight 802, incident report required immediately. Flight 802, media inquiries, do not respond. Flight 802, legal team on standby. His co-pilot, First Officer Lee, looked over. "What's going on?" "We have a PR nightmare," Anderson said. "That passenger removal, it's all over social media." "The old guy? What happened?" "Brittany Vance happened." Lee whistled low. "Again? How many times is this now?" "Too many." Anderson rubbed his face. "And we have Damon Coleman in first class." "Who's that?" "Our new majority shareholder, CEO of Coleman Global Enterprises." Lee's eyes went wide. "Oh, yeah. Oh." Anderson pulled up the passenger manifest again, looked at seat 4C, the removed passenger. Arthur Coleman. Then looked at seat 1A. Damon Coleman. Same last name. Anderson's stomach dropped. No. He scrolled through Arthur's booking details. Emergency contact listed. Damon Coleman. Relationship. Son. "Oh my God," Anderson whispered. "What?" "The passenger Brittany assaulted. That's Damon Coleman's father." The color drained from Lee's face. "She assaulted the CEO's father?" "She doesn't know. Nobody told her." "Shouldn't we?" "No." Anderson's hands shook. "We're staying in this cockpit. We're landing this plane and then we're letting this play out however it's going to play out. But that woman destroyed her career. She destroyed Mitch's career. She probably destroyed mine too, and there's nothing we can do about it now." The plane climbed to cruising altitude, 35,000 FT. The seatbelt sign dinged off. Brittany walked through the cabin, offered drinks, smiled at passengers. Some accepted, others turned away, wouldn't even look at her. She noticed. "Is there a problem?" she asked a woman in 5C. The woman stared at her phone. "No problem." Brittany looked closer, saw her own face on the screen, a video, the slap playing on loop. Her smile faltered. "Where did you get that?" "It's everywhere," the woman said quietly. "You're trending." Brittany's heart started to race. She moved to the next row. Another passenger watching a video, the same video. Row after row, everyone was watching. Her hands started to shake. She retreated to the galley, pulled out her own phone, searched for her name. Brittany Vance. Autocomplete suggested Brittany Vance Liberty Sky, Brittany Vance Assault, Brittany Vance Racist. She clicked the first result. Her face filled the screen. The video from 20 minutes ago already had 200,000 views. The comments were brutal. "Fire her. Arrest her. She belongs in prison. This is what systematic racism looks like." Brittany's knees went weak. This couldn't be happening. She'd done her job. She'd followed protocol. She'd defended herself. But the video didn't lie. It showed everything. Her words, her actions, the blood. Mitch appeared beside her. "Brittany, we have a problem." The plane leveled at cruising altitude. The cabin lights brightened. Brittany stood in the galley staring at her phone. Her face had gone pale. The videos kept multiplying. Every refresh brought new posts, new hashtags. Justice for Flight 802, Church Fire Brittany Vance, Church Boycott Liberty Sky. Mitch Kowalski grabbed her arm, pulled her deeper into the galley where passengers couldn't see. "Put that away," he hissed. "Don't look at social media, don't respond to anything." "Mitch, it's everywhere. My name, my face. They're calling me a racist." "Let it blow over. These things always do. By tomorrow, something else will be trending." But Mitch's own hands were shaking. His phone kept buzzing. Messages from his brother, Greg, in HR. "Mitch, what the hell happened on your flight? Legal is asking questions. The board is freaking out. Call me now." Mitch silenced his phone, shoved it in his pocket. Brittany grabbed his sleeve. "What do we do?" "Nothing. We land. We file our reports. We go home. This will disappear." But his voice lacked conviction. The intercom clicked on. Captain Anderson's voice filled the cabin. "Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, we're at our cruising altitude of 35,000 FT. Flight time to Chicago will be approximately 1 hour and 40 minutes. A pause. Longer than normal. "Before we begin our beverage service, I need to address something." Brittany's head snapped up. "I've been made aware of an incident during boarding. I want to assure all passengers that Liberty Sky takes such matters very seriously. A full investigation will be conducted upon landing." Brittany felt the cabin's eyes turning toward her. Every passenger knew. Everyone had seen. "Additionally," Anderson continued, his voice tight, "I've been informed that we have a distinguished guest aboard today. Mr. Damon Coleman, CEO of Coleman Global Enterprises." The cabin went silent. Brittany's brow furrowed. That name? Why did it sound familiar? Mitch's face had turned gray. For those unaware, Coleman Global Enterprises recently became the majority shareholder of Liberty Sky Airlines. Mr. Coleman now oversees all operations, personnel decisions, and company policy. Brittany's knees buckled. She grabbed the galley counter. "No. Mr. Coleman has requested to address the cabin. I'm turning over the intercom now." The click of the mic switching hands, then a new voice. Deep, controlled, cold. "Good afternoon. My name is Damon Coleman." In seat 1A, Damon stood. He held the cabin phone. His eyes swept across business class, landing on Brittany, locking there. "The man your crew just assaulted and removed from this aircraft is my father, Arthur Coleman." Collective gasps rippled through the cabin. Brittany's hand flew to her mouth. Her eyes went wide. She looked at Mitch. He was frozen, paralyzed. Damon continued. His voice never wavered, each word precise, measured. "My father is a 72-year-old veteran. He served in Vietnam. He worked for the United States Postal Service for 40 years. He's never been arrested, never had a complaint filed against him. He's never missed a bill payment in his life." Passengers were leaning forward, hanging on every word. "6 months ago, I told my father I wanted to buy him a business class ticket to fly to my daughter's graduation. His granddaughter, Zoe Coleman. She's graduating from Northwestern Pre-Med, top of her class." Damon's voice tightened slightly, emotion breaking through. "My father refused. He said he'd buy his own ticket, said he'd saved his whole life to provide for his family. He wanted this one thing for himself. To sit in business class just once to feel like his hard work meant something." Silence. Complete silence. "I was supposed to meet him at the airport, but I decided to surprise him. I booked myself on the same flight, first class. I wanted to see his face when he experienced the comfort he'd earned." Damon paused. Let that sink in. Instead, I watched a member of this airline's crew verbally abuse him, physically assault him, accuse him of theft, of lying, of not belonging. His eyes never left Brittany. I watched her destroy his ticket, kick his belongings, mock his dead wife, and then strike him in the face hard enough to draw blood, hard enough to break his glasses. A woman in row 6 started crying. I watched airport security remove my father like a criminal, while the woman who assaulted him stood there smiling. Damon lowered the phone slightly, spoke directly to the cabin now, not through the intercom. Some of you are wondering why I didn't intervene. Why did I let it happen? He stepped into the aisle. Because I needed to see it, all of it. I needed to watch the system expose itself. I needed to see how far it would go, how many people would stay silent, how many would participate. He walked slowly toward business class, toward the galley, toward Brittany. And now you're all witnesses. You've all seen it. You can't unsee it. You can't pretend it didn't happen. Mitch moved to block his path. Mr. Coleman, I think we should discuss this privately. Step aside, Mitch. Sir, if we could just step aside. The command was absolute. Mitch moved. Damon reached the galley. Brittany backed against the counter. Her face was streaked with tears. Her hands shook. Mr. Coleman, I didn't know. I swear I didn't know he was your father. Damon stared at her long and hard. That's the problem, Brittany. You didn't need to know because it shouldn't matter whether he's my father or a stranger. Whether he's a CEO or a janitor, he deserved basic human dignity. His voice dropped lower, more dangerous. But since we're discussing what you didn't know, let me educate you. He pulled out his phone, turned it toward the cabin, projected his screen onto the overhead monitors using the aircraft's Wi-Fi system. A document appeared. Brittany Vance's personnel file. 23 complaints filed against you in the past 3 years, all involving passengers of color, all mysteriously closed without investigation. He scrolled. Names appeared. Dates, incidents. Passenger Lin, Chinese American. You accused him of speaking too loudly in Mandarin. Had him move to the rear of the plane. Passenger Gonzalez, Hispanic. You accused her of stealing a blanket, the blanket you had given her. Passenger Jackson, black teenager. You had him removed for suspicious behavior. He was reading a physics textbook. Each name hit like a hammer. Passengers gasped. Some pulled out their phones, recording everything. Passenger Williams, Passenger Rodriguez, Passenger Kim, Passenger Khan. The list went on and on. Every single complaint filed, every single complaint closed, all signed off by the same person. Damon turned to Mitch. Mitch Kowalski, route manager. Your signature on every dismissal, every cover-up. Mitch's mouth opened. Nothing came out. And do you know who processed these dismissals in HR? Who made sure they never reached the ethics board? Damon pulled up another file. Greg Kowalski, Mitch's brother, HR compliance officer, brotherly loyalty, systematic corruption. The cabin erupted in angry murmurs. Hannah Kim appeared from the rear galley. She'd been listening to everything. She walked forward, stood beside Damon. I can confirm all of this, she said, her voice steady now, strong. I've been documenting Brittany's behavior for 3 years. I have recordings, photos, witness statements from other crew members too scared to speak up. She pulled out her backup phone, held it up. I have evidence of 23 incidents. I filed reports after each one. Every report was dismissed. I was told to stay quiet or face termination. Damon nodded at her. Hannah Kim, you're now acting route manager, effective immediately. Your first task is to cooperate with the independent investigation I'm ordering. Hannah's eyes widened. Sir, you chose integrity over comfort. That's the kind of leadership this airline needs. He turned back to Mitch. Mitch Kowalski, you're terminated, effective immediately. Security will escort you off this aircraft when we land. Your brother Greg is also terminated. Both of you will be referred to the Department of Justice for obstruction of justice and civil rights violations. Mitch's face went red. You can't just... I have a contract. Your contract includes a morality clause. You violated it 23 times that we can prove. Probably more. My legal team will be in touch. Damon turned to Brittany. She was sobbing now, mascara running, her perfect image destroyed. Brittany Vance, you committed assault on camera with multiple witnesses. Captain Anderson will contact the Chicago Police Department. You will be arrested upon landing. Please, Brittany choked out. I didn't mean... I was just doing my job. Your job is customer service, not racial profiling, not assault. Damon pulled out his phone, made a call, put it on speaker. It rang twice. Hello? Arthur's voice, confused, tired. Dad, it's Damon. I'm on the plane. Everyone can hear you. Son, what's going on? I need you to come back to the gate. I'm having them turn the plane around. Silence on the other end. Damon, you don't need to do this. I'm fine. I'll catch the next flight. No, Dad. You're catching this flight in the seat you paid for with the dignity you deserve. Arthur's voice cracked. Son. Trust me, Dad, please. A long pause. Then, okay, I'm still in the terminal. Damon hung up, turned to Captain Anderson, who had emerged from the cockpit. Captain, return to the gate. We're boarding one additional passenger. Anderson nodded immediately. Yes, sir. Returning to gate now. The plane banked. Passengers felt the turn. Confusion rippled through the cabin. Brittany slumped to the floor, sobbing. Mitch stood frozen, useless. Damon addressed the entire cabin. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for this delay, but some things are more important than schedules. Dignity, justice, accountability. He paused. Liberty Sky Airlines has a problem. A systematic problem. For too long, complaints about discrimination have been ignored, buried, dismissed. That ends today. He pulled up another screen on the monitors. I'm announcing a $50 million fund for victims of discrimination on Liberty Sky flights. Every complaint filed in the past 5 years will be reopened, investigated independently. Every victim will be contacted, compensated, heard. Applause broke out slowly at first, then building. Soon, the entire cabin was clapping. Additionally, I'm implementing an independent oversight board, external auditors, quarterly bias training, real training, not checkbox exercises, and a whistleblower protection program with financial incentives. More applause. Because what happened to my father happens every day to thousands of people in airports, on planes, in hotels, in stores, everywhere. And it only stops when we decide it stops. The plane touched down, rolled back to the gate. The jetway extended. The door opened. Arthur Coleman stood there. His shirt was still blood-stained. His face was bruised, but his head was high. Damon walked to the door, met his father. They embraced. The entire cabin stood, applauded, cheered. Arthur's eyes welled up. He looked at all these strangers, clapping for him, for his dignity, for justice. Brittany remained on the galley floor, destroyed. Mitch stood against the wall, powerless. Damon led his father to seat 4C, the seat he'd paid for. Then Damon made an announcement. Actually, Dad, you're sitting in first class, seat 1B, next to me. He upgraded Arthur on the spot, led him to first class, seated him in the cream leather. A flight attendant, not Brittany, brought champagne with, "The airline's deepest apologies, Mr. Coleman." Arthur took the glass, looked at his son. You didn't let anger make you cruel, Arthur said quietly. You let it make you just. Damon's eyes reddened. I learned from you, Dad. The plane pushed back again, this time with the right passenger in the right seat. As they taxied, Damon pulled out his phone, checked social media. Flight 802 was trending worldwide. Number 1, 4 million views, major news outlets picking it up. CNN breaking. Airline CEO's father assaulted on Liberty Sky flight. MSNBC, shocking video shows elderly black man attacked by flight attendant. New York Times, discrimination investigation launched after viral video. The story was everywhere. Justice was being served publicly, undeniably, and it was only the beginning. 48 hours later, Brittany Vance sat in a Chicago police station, her hands cuffed to a metal table. Her lawyer beside her looked exhausted. The charges: assault and battery, federal interference with flight crew duties. The irony was sharp. She'd accused Arthur of the crime she committed. Bail was set at $50,000. She couldn't afford it. Her bank account held $6,000. Her credit cards were maxed. She'd been fired before the plane landed. Her flight attendant license was suspended. Her face was everywhere. The most hated woman in America. Mitch Kowalski faced similar charges, plus conspiracy to obstruct justice. His brother Greg was arrested at Liberty Sky headquarters. FBI agents walked him out in handcuffs. Employees filmed it, posted it online. Justice served in real time. 1 week after Flight 802, Damon Coleman stood at a podium in Liberty Sky's headquarters. Cameras everywhere, every major news outlet present. Good morning. I'm Damon Coleman, CEO of Coleman Global Enterprises and majority shareholder of Liberty Sky Airlines. I'm here to address Flight 802 and announce immediate changes. He clicked the first slide. First, a $50 million dignity restoration fund. Every passenger who filed a discrimination complaint in the past 5 years will be contacted. Cases reviewed independently. Victims compensated fairly. Reporters scribbled notes. Cameras flashed. Second, an independent oversight board chaired by civil rights leaders, representatives from the NAACP, Anti-Defamation League, and ACLU. Full access to all records, all files, all communications. Click next slide. Third, mandatory quarterly bias training. Real training facilitated by experts, not online modules. Attendance verified, performance measured. Fourth, whistleblower protection and incentives. Employees who report discrimination will be protected and rewarded. $10,000 per verified report. The room buzzed. Unprecedented. Fifth, public transparency. Liberty Sky will publish discrimination complaint statistics quarterly. Number filed, number investigated, outcomes. Full transparency. Damon paused. These changes are effective immediately, not next month, today. A reporter raised her hand. Mr. Coleman, what about your father? Damon's expression softened. My father is home, healing. He attended my daughter's graduation. Zoe graduated with highest honors. My father sat in the front row where he belonged. Another reporter. Will he press charges? That's his decision. I support whatever he chooses. What about the financial impact? Your stock dropped 12%. Damon nodded. Yes, because we failed our customers. But I believe the market rewards companies that do right. Long-term, these changes will strengthen Liberty Sky. He was right. Within 2 weeks, the stock rebounded, rose 34% above its previous high. 2 weeks after the incident, Arthur Coleman sat in his living room in Atlanta, the house he'd shared with Elizabeth for 43 years. His face had healed. The bruise faded to yellow. The cut was a thin line now, but something deeper had changed. His phone rang constantly. News outlets, lawyers, civil rights organizations asking him to speak. He declined most. He wasn't a public speaker, wasn't an activist, just a man who'd bought a plane ticket. But one invitation he accepted. His church, Bethel AME, held an appreciation service. The sanctuary was packed, standing room only. Pastor Davis stood at the pulpit, his voice booming. Brother Arthur Coleman didn't ask for this fight, but when injustice stood before him, he didn't surrender his dignity. The congregation erupted. Amen! Preach! Brother Coleman showed us that power isn't in raising your voice. It's in keeping your composure. Power isn't in fighting back with fists. It's standing firm with principle. Arthur sat in the front pew, uncomfortable with attention but grateful. After the service, dozens approached him, shared their stories. An older black woman. I was removed from a flight in 1987. They said my ticket was suspicious. Nobody believed me. Thank you. A young Hispanic man. I get randomly selected every time I fly. Every time. Now maybe that'll change. A middle-aged Asian woman. My daughter was humiliated last year. The airline did nothing. You gave us hope. Story after story, Arthur listened to each one, held space for their pain. That evening, he sat alone in his kitchen, pulled out Elizabeth's photo. I wish you could have seen it, Lizzie, he whispered. Our boy, the way he stood up. Not just for me, for everyone. He could almost hear her voice. I always knew that boy would change the world. Arthur smiled, wiped his eyes. 6 months later, Liberty Sky looked different. Flight crew diversity increased dramatically. Training programs were rigorous. Real employees felt safer speaking up. 217 former passengers came forward. 162 received compensation, apologies, validation. The Department of Transportation launched an industry-wide investigation. 5 other airlines showed similar patterns. Congressional hearings scheduled. Senator Williams from California. The Coleman incident wasn't isolated. It was systemic failure. We're introducing the Arthur Coleman Fair Travel Act. The bill gained bipartisan support. Injustice caught on camera. United people. Hannah Kim sat in her new office, VP of Employee Relations, a title she'd never imagined. She'd become the face of corporate whistleblowing, featured in Time magazine. The flight attendant who wouldn't look away. Her bystander to upstander training program was implemented across Liberty Sky. Then 12 other airlines adopted it. Change was happening slowly, imperfectly, but undeniably. Brittany Vance, 6 months into court-mandated therapy, sat across from Dr. Patterson. When did you first feel superior to others based on race? The therapist asked. Brittany broke down. Years of unchallenged beliefs, her father's racist views. She'd never questioned them. She attended a restorative justice circle. Arthur chose to participate. Brittany crying. I can't undo what I did. I can't give you back your dignity. Arthur looked at her steadily. You never took it. You just tested it. The question is what you do now. Brittany began volunteering with a racial justice organization. The road was long, but she'd taken the first steps. Redemption wasn't forgiveness. It was accountability plus change. 1 year after Flight 802, Arthur Coleman boarded another Liberty Sky flight, same route, Atlanta to Chicago. His heart beat faster than he'd like. Last time he'd been assaulted, humiliated, removed. But Zoe's white coat ceremony was tomorrow, medical school. She was becoming a doctor. He stepped onto the aircraft. The crew recognized him immediately. Mr. Coleman, the flight attendant, James Washington, extended his hand. It's an honor to serve you today, sir. The captain emerged. Mr. Coleman, welcome aboard. If you need anything, please let us know. Arthur found his seat. 4C, the same seat, but everything was different. The crew was diverse, professional, kind. New policies posted. Dignity, respect, justice. He settled in. A text from Damon appeared. Dad, I reserved the seat next to you, but left it empty with a rose for Mom. Arthur looked. Seat 4B empty. A white rose on the tray table. A small plaque in memory of Elizabeth Coleman. Tears streamed down his face. The plane pushed back. Engines hummed. Arthur closed his eyes. He could feel Elizabeth beside him, could hear her laugh, could sense her pride. This seat, this moment, this victory, It was for her, for them, for everyone who'd been told they didn't belong. The plane lifted into the sky. Arthur Coleman flew in dignity, finally, completely. This story isn't about one flight attendant or one airline. It's about the systems we build and the courage required to dismantle them when they fail our most vulnerable. Arthur Coleman never raised his voice, never responded with violence, never abandoned his principles. His weapon was unwavering dignity. In an interview 6 months later, Arthur said something that went viral again. "They can take your seat, your briefcase, even your pride. But your dignity, that's yours to keep or give away. I chose to keep mine." Those words were shared 2 million times, printed on posters, quoted in sermons, taught in classrooms because dignity isn't given, it's maintained. Even when others try to strip it away, Hannah Kim's role shows us something equally powerful. 3 years of documentation. She could have stayed silent, kept her job, avoided risk. Instead, she chose courage over comfort. "If you see something, record it, report it, refuse to be complicit," she said in her Time interview. Statistics show 67% of discrimination incidents have witnesses who stay silent. Fear of retaliation, fear of confrontation, fear of being wrong. But what if just 10% spoke up? The system would collapse because abuse of power requires silence to survive. Damon Coleman had power, but timing mattered. He let the system expose itself fully before intervening. He could have stopped Brittany immediately, pulled rank, ended it in seconds. But then only Brittany would have faced consequences. The system protecting her would have remained hidden. Damon used power not for revenge, but for reform. "Power isn't about dominance," he said at Harvard Business School. "It's about protection. Use yours to shield, not to strike." Power wielded for personal satisfaction is tyranny. Power wielded for systemic change is justice. What about Brittany Vance? What about redemption? 6 months of therapy, restorative justice circles, volunteering with racial justice organizations. She's doing the work. But redemption isn't erasing the past. It's refusing to repeat it. It's not an absolution. It's accountability plus sustained change. Brittany lost her career, faced criminal charges, became a public example. Those were necessary consequences. But after the consequences, we can offer a path forward. Not forgiveness, not forgetting, but the possibility of becoming better. So what do? How do we create change? 5 individual actions matter. First, document. Your phone camera is an accountability tool. Record incidents or save evidence. Second, speak up. Break the silence. Support victims publicly. Your voice adds weight. Third, amplify. Share stories of injustice. Use your platforms. Silence protects abusers. Fourth, demand action. Contact companies. Be specific. "I'm boycotting until you address complaint X filed on Y date." Fifth, support organizations. NAACP, ACLU, Anti-Defamation League. They need resources. 5 systemic actions. First, vote for leaders who prioritize civil rights enforcement, who fund oversight agencies. Second, boycott. Companies feel it in their stock price. Money talks. Third, advocate. Push for legislation like the Arthur Coleman Act. Call representatives. Attend town halls. Fourth, invest. Support businesses with genuine diversity commitments, real policies, real results. Fifth, educate. Have difficult conversations about race and power. At dinner tables, in workplaces, discomfort is where growth happens. Ask yourself hard questions. Have you ever witnessed discrimination and stayed silent? What stopped you? What would you do if you were on Flight 802? Would you record? Would you speak up? What power do you have? Your voice, your vote, your wallet. How are you using it? Arthur's story is one of millions. Black Americans are 3 times more likely to experience public discrimination. Airlines, retail, restaurants, healthcare. No industry is exempt. But every viral moment creates accountability pressure. Flight 802 joined BBQ Becky, Permit Patty, Central Park Karen. Each incident forced institutions to respond. We haven't fixed systemic racism. One CEO, one airline, one viral video won't end centuries of injustice. But every Arthur Coleman who refuses to surrender dignity moves the needle. Every Hannah Kim who refuses to stay silent moves it further. Every Damon Coleman who refuses to hoard power moves it more slowly, painfully, but undeniably. Elizabeth Coleman used to say, "Baby, the arc of history is long, but it bends toward justice." Arthur finally understands. It doesn't bend by itself. We bend it one dignified moment at a time. So here's my question to you. When your moment comes, and it will come, will you be the person who speaks up or the person who looks away? Because Flight 802 taught us something no video could capture. Justice isn't a spectator sport. It requires all of us. If this story moved you, share it. Not for likes, not for views. Share it because someone in your network needs to hear that their dignity matters, that their voice matters, that they matter. Leave a comment. Tell us your story. When did you speak up? When did you stay silent? What will you do differently next time? Subscribe, because stories like this need to be told. Dignity needs to be defended. Justice needs to be demanded. Your moment is coming. Be ready. Justice for Mr. Coleman. Dignity matters. Speak up. At Black Voices Uncut, we don't polish away the pain or water down the message. We tell it like it is, because the truth deserves nothing less. If today's story spoke to you, click like, join the conversation in the comments, and subscribe so you'll be here for the next.